And whatever I know you're not a big fan of the other God of War games, but they had so many great boss fights in every one of those games. Just how the fights were actually just from the pure gameplay enjoyability.
How did you feel about the electric gauntlets?
Huh?
It's a lot of people
from Batman.
Yeah, sorry. I just thought of that.
In Origins.
I thought it was
a lot
just,
of people hated them.
I don't hate it. I just feel like it just was not a thing that needed to be there. Like, I love the combat in the first two games and all those challenges. Like, I think I probably spent more than maybe 100 hours in the second one just doing all the challenges, all those fighting things, and getting the perfect combos on each one. And like, I think I did almost every one where I didn't get hit during it once, and did like flawless combos.
Challenges in that game are fun to do, even though people make fun of the game that all you have to do is press the Y button.
Yeah, but it's not.
But it's not.
There's an art to it.
To do well in it, you don't have to just.
And
you have to play.
And to get the most points by doing the right special moves and countering the right things, and how you can build up your combo meter huge by. Like, the most thing that was fun for me, the guys that are armored, that you have to stun them once and then hit them. Yeah. There was nothing more sad. Like, when I want to talk about having fun with a game, there was no point in many other games where I've had as much fun where I stun the guy with armor and then just ram the button as many times as I can. And then somebody comes up to attack me from behind, I counter them, knock them away, and then go back to punching the guy. Do that 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, the game
and then finally
felt
kill
good.
the guy. It was like so much fun.
Mm-hmm. One of the problems, and I totally get why, and I never felt this way, but I totally get why other people felt this way with the game, is that it goes from stealth sequence to fight sequence.
Yeah.
Stealth fight, stealth fight, stealth fight, and you can, like, when you walk into a room, you know which one it's going to be.
Yeah.
Because you can look for gargoyles?
Exactly. If there's a gargoyle, or if it's just a mildly to very open area, it's a fight scene. There's gargoyles stealth.
If there was a way that you could have either one, if you could go through, like, it would be really hard. They'd have to change the game. But if you could change it so that every area could either be a stealth area or a fight area,
or if they added like imagine adding gargoyles to the combat somehow. Like, you have him swing into a fight, right? Or you have him
the problem
bounce
with their
off
whole
of
gargoyle
things into
mechanic
a fight.
is that as soon as you're up there, you're invincible against people with guns.
Totally.
But in most of those big fight scenes, guns aren't really that much.
Yeah, if you're in stealth mode, there's probably dudes with guns.
Everybody has guns when you're in stealth mode, pretty much, except for like the first Rebels. After that, everybody wants a gun in stealth mode.
But my biggest problem with... I really like the electric gauntlets because it gave you, like, a third form of... so you had... like, I don't know what the word is. They're not finishers. Like, when you hit Y and B together.
Yeah, the special moves.
Yeah, you had the special moves. Then you had focus mode.
Yeah.
And then they added the electric gauntlets. And I thought it was a good way of giving you more power for your punch. Like, it gives you another reason to get high combos. That's what it did.
I hated it in the fact that when you had, like, the whole big thing with the Batman thing was that you're not killing the guys, right? And so your big thing with the Batman, especially in even those games, is where you're not killing them. So while you're fighting them in hand-to-hand combat, you're trying not to fucking kill them.
Whereas
really, when you get those electric gloves out, and you're now using a weapon where it's meant to just destroy armor and shock them, and like, let's be reasonable. If you could come up with some type of technology that made you have electric gloves, you're killing a majority of those people with electric shock, right?
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's serious, and
the big thing that I enjoyed was the counterplay where you felt human in the first and second games, because if there's a guy with armor or a guy with like a nightstick,
they are threatening. They're the bad guy,
you were
and
really
everyone else. Yeah.
And in a lot of those challenges, when you had like more than 2 guys with nightsticks, you're like, this is a fucking pain in the ass.
Yeah.
It's super
or
hard.
A shield. Yeah.
But whereas with this one, you can just easy mode out of it, avoid him, and then just get the gloves, and then just not care what anybody has.
Yeah. No, that was. Yeah.
I felt like it was just kind of like God mode, and it wasn't enjoyable because it took away the things that made you weak.
When you turn the gloves on, you can punch through any weapon.
Yeah.
I gathered as much from the
Okay,
conversation.
yeah, because in the first two, you can't punch through a weapon. You have to dodge.
Like, I
or-
remember
yeah.
that from Asylum, whenever someone came out with a nightstick, just being like, fuck, this is annoying.
Yeah, you had to
Because they-
You
stun
felt
and,
human.
Yeah,
They
what
would
did you have to-
ruin you
You
in
had
a
to
fight.
stun and jump over them. Was that?
Yeah.
You had
And
to be
then
really
hit them from
careful about
behind.
it.
Yeah.
And like, you could ruin your combo by accidentally attacking a guy with a shield and stuff.
Yeah.
like
And
that.
once you turn the gloves on, you just get to go through all weapons.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter. And then there's now no
And
counterplay.
the gloves don't work on a reasonable, like, limitation.
But they did
I
add in the
feel that
ninjas,
as
right?
soon as the game gives you a weapon where your basic attacks are so good that you don't even feel the need to use special abilities, then they have now ruined the game.
Okay, hypothetical. They reduce the amount of power every punch gives into the gloves, so you get to use them less often.
Yeah.
Does it
If
balance it
it
more?
was
The
really,
gloves
if it was
are-
really hard to get those gloves on and it lasted a really short time, so you only had enough for like 2 or 3 hits when you were really in a corner, and then you had a couple guys come at you that had weapons, and it was this really short thing. Yeah, but when you can leave it on for like 5 minutes and just decimate an entire room of people with it,
Yeah.
no good. Like if it was like a one kind of like a taser thing, basically, where there's this one guy in the room that's really threatening, so I'm going to take him out. Yes, but when you can just manhandle the entire room and not even need to use any abilities or dodging.
The ninjas were awesome
Yeah,
as an addition. That was a good idea.
that was really fun.
That was a good idea. Whoever came up with that,
Where
was,
they
that was very
dodge,
smart.
yeah.
Where they dodge you and they counter you, and you have to be able to counter twice.
Yeah.
And counter through
I
several
died
hits.
a couple times the first fight because I started the game playing on the hardest difficulty you could, because I don't think you unlock the hardest parts.
No.
But I always like playing it hard. And yeah, and I was like, holy fuck, I died just a couple times, and I'm like, what do you mean counterplay? I was not ready for that.
I didn't like the that they took out the riddles. That really bugged me.
Oh yeah, that
Yeah.
bothered a lot.
Yeah. Because in the first 2 games, part of what it means to be Batman is to be the world's greatest detective,
Yeah.
right? Like he's
Solving those things is really good.
Yeah,
Now,
he's-
as somebody that's like me and I get into those games and I get overwhelmed by having so many things to finish, not having to worry about those was nice.
Well, that's just because they added in so many fucking collectibles,
Yeah.
and they, like, the open world edition was
As much
okay,
as I know
but
it was necessary, because some of the times I did have fun getting some of those trophies in the first 2 games, it also was like, man, this whole city's like on fire, and I'm fucking trying to roll a ball through a maze of chicken wire.
Yeah,
to
that
get
was
a
that
trophy.
was really dumb.
Like-
No, those were absolutely dumb. No, but like as a fan of the extended Batman universe,
Yeah.
and you as a fan of the extended DC universe, it's hard not to love when you get that extra content of
Oh, yeah.
getting to learn about like I remember very distinctly listening to the interview tapes of the patient psychiatric interviews.
Oh yeah, some of
In
those.
the first
those
game.
are really cool.
They're really cool.
Yeah.
Like I would go out of my way to find that stuff.
Scarecrows were awesome.
And the Crocs were great, and Jokers were pretty cool.
They were all pretty good.
Yeah, and like it's hard not to like that, right? Or when you go through and like I distinctly remember going to the playground and scanning the teeter totter and getting the file on Tweedledee and Tweedledum.
Oh right.
Yeah, or finding a weird corpse surrounded by rats in one of the vent systems and getting the file on a guy named Pied Piper who I never heard of. Or
Yeah, I never heard of
Firefly. Some weird. There's always this weird thing. I said this earlier to you. Is that when I watched like Avengers movies or when I played the Batman games, there was always just out of nowhere some bad guy who I never fucking heard of before. It's just like, who is this person? I've never heard of this person.
Batman, I'm not going to say this as a fact because people are just tearing me apart on the internet, but as far as what I've experienced in the DC universe, Batman has so many different villains.
Yeah,
He's got like a fuck ton more than some of most of the other people.
and he's got some really good ones.
Yeah, and he has some amazing ones on paper that aren't as good in practice.
Like Convent Man.
What?
You don't know the Batman villain, Convent Man? He makes condiment puns?
Are you serious?
Yes. And Batman just punches him once and that's it. I think it was really only in the cartoon.
I meant Two-Face, actually. Because Two-Face is a really cool character in paper, but then every time he's ever been put into anything, it's not really that great. But
Yeah, because the thing with him is that he's supposed to be...
Well, Two-Face is blind justice, right?
Yeah.
That's what he is. He's blind justice. He's always been blind justice. But like when you look at him in the Batman movie with
But the thing that I feel with him, with what he should be described as, is a chaotic neutral.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And the thing is that he's chaotic
always
evil.
Yeah, if anything.
Like, he's not... I feel like so many people just put him as a bad guy, where most of the time, in what he should be theoretically, is that he should be somebody that's just not trying to do evil things. He just is doing normal things to be like okay, not like, you know, not being in the business world, but you know what I mean. Like, not... He's just trying to do regular things, and then he either does really violent or really normal, like, good
He's trying to do
outcomes.
vigilante things, and he either is...
Well, no, that's his entire character, is that he doesn't know what he's going to do. He gives himself two options, and then whatever the coin says, he does that, right? Blind justice. He literally does not choose himself. He gives the choice to fate, to chance, which is a really cool idea.
He just puts himself in these situations in every video or movie where he puts him in a really bad, fucking messed up, evil guy situation, and then he has to choose between really, really fucked up and evil or kind of evil.
Yeah. Well, there was, I remember reading this I bought a Batman encyclopedia a long time ago, which I read regularly. There was a note in it about...
Ladies?
Yeah. I also have the
Hey,
Marvel...
Batman knowledge turns me on.
No, the Marvel and X-Men encyclopedia sitting on the
I've
same
read already.
shelf. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
I have changed my pants because I'm so wet.
But there's a story about how Batman got kissed by Poison Ivy. Robin went to Two-Face because he had the cure, and Two-Face flipped a coin to see whether he would give the cure. Right? That's a really good Two-Face story. Because that's what Two-Face's character is that he puts all his weight on chance.
Yeah, and he totally would have if he...
Yeah. But in every movie, he's always written the same way, where he's like this weird mobster who either chooses to flip a coin to kill a child or kill Batman. Like, those are the two choices he gives himself.
Some really good options.
Yeah, it's never justice. It's always this weird, like, they make him so evil.
It's not a good movie.
Whereas
the Batman and Robin movie with George Clooney, that is absolutely terrible.
Yep.
The
Two-Face isn't in it.
Oh, which one is
Two-Face
it?
is in, he's in the
Batman
one with
Forever.
Jim Carrey versus Val Kilmer.
Forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Two-Face in that actually wasn't that...
No, because here's
it
my
being
critical
pretty-
review. Because him and Riddler don't function as Riddler and Two-Face. They function as half Riddler, half Joker, and half Two-Face, half Joker. They both walk around psychotically laughing and making these little pranks.
Yeah.
They're never
But I'm saying
normal.
when you go down to the two, I would say that they represented more of how Two-Face does his decisions, and that a lot better than I've seen in a lot of movies. In like that one time where he has a security guard that's like live or die kind of thing, and he lets the security guard go, where a normal person that's committing a crime wouldn't.
Yeah.
Like, that's a good representation of it.
Yeah, but that's
I still
not...
understand. Yeah, it was totally messed up.
Yeah, and it's like when it comes to Riddler and Two-Face, having them walk around maniacally laughing and doing
Playing
weird Joker
Jim
things.
Carrey as the Joker is not
Riddler.
Well, Jim Carrey's a horrible, horrible actor.
Okay, whoa.
I don't like Jim Carrey.
We're not gonna get into that.
Okay,
But
that's fine. I don't mind not getting into that.
That it's just
But the other character I was going to mention is the Joker is horrid on paper and amazing in practice. An evil clown? That's like the most classically boring character ever. Like, yeah, sure, whatever. We've seen this hundreds of times before.
Yeah.
And yet, in every way, the Joker is the opposite of Batman. So he's like the best bad guy in the entire series.
Joker is probably one of the best design villains ever because he is absolutely 100% psychologically just obsessed with Batman. And the fact that his entire goal is to break Batman by getting Batman to kill him. That's his whole existence.
That's
wants
devotion.
No, because
No,
he is dedicated to
devotion,
breaking Batman, and he knows the one way that he would break Batman is if he could get him to kill somebody. And moreover himself, because he's his arch rival.
Well, also check it out. Batman is always dressing in black. He hangs out in dark shadows.
Yeah.
He's angry. He's like the classic representation of evil. And he always does good things. And Joker is a clown, which is funny. It's nice. It's happy.
I know.
And he's going around murdering people. It's so cool. I love it.
I know. The symbolism in it is great.
Yeah, it works so well.
It's that's the one thing that just blows my mind away with the whole thing is that this villain is so absolutely like he's actual true villain in the only way that you could accept. Like when you read about any supervillain and how like when you get down to the base of it, it's like they're just being evil to be evil.
Some of them, yeah.
Joker is actually just completely out of his mind. He's literally just completely psycho,
undiagnosably insane.
Yeah, and he's dead, and like the Batman's ultimate rule is do not kill, and all Joker wants to do is break him and destroy Batman. He doesn't want to kill Batman. His whole life is about Batman. If Batman died, Joker wouldn't be Joker.